Hi there, I'm Jimmy. I'm the host of the show. We're here on a Friday night, a very unusual Friday night. Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any 2020er, last night, it's around 10 o'clock. I just got home from throwing my ballots in the river. My wife and I are on the bed making love, which means I was on my computer and she was on her phone. And all of a sudden, everyone we know is texting us, like everyone, our friends, coworkers, my parents, her parents, their parents, who've been deceased for years. It was a explosion because the president wrote on Twitter, tonight, Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together, which I don't know who's writing this year, but it's too much. It's not even believable anymore. It's ridiculous. Aides say that the president appeared to be lethargic over the past few days. They got worried yesterday morning when he couldn't smell his McGriddle, and Trump was said to be experiencing mild symptoms at around 6:20. He was taken in Marine One to Walter Reed Hospital. He's expected to remain there for a few days. He walked to the helicopter on his own. We don't know the full extent of his symptoms. His staff said he had a fever, so they sent him to the hospital just to be safe. But, you know, he's high risk because of his age and his weight. Fortunately, he does have Obamacare, so he's covered on those pre-existing conditions. But the other storyline, one that's happening off of TV, is people wondering if he really does have the virus. Some people don't believe he has it. Some people think it's a ploy to win him the election, and others think someone intentionally gave it to him. This is a theory from a far-right person named Deanna Lorraine, which is really all you need to know. But she scored the tinfoil hat trick with this tweet. I'm just going to say what we're all thinking. Trump was fine until the debate where they set up microphones and podiums for him. Incubation period is usually 2 to 3 days. He tests positive a couple of days after the debate. I put nothing past the left. Nothing. Well, I wouldn't say we're all thinking that. Might just be you, in fact. And then she went all in. She wrote, does anyone else find it odd that no prominent Democrats have had the virus, but the list of Republicans goes on and on? Well, you know what else is odd? It's odd that skydivers who use parachutes come down fine, but the ones who don't get splattered like a bag of coleslaw. That's also odd. And, of course, no reasonable person wants anyone to get this terrible disease, but you can't look past the fact that over and over again, Trump has been making fun of Joe Biden for wearing a mask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
He walks onto the stage wearing this massive mask. There's nobody on the stage. He's got the largest mask I think I've ever seen.
There's no reason for him to have masks on. He comes up with the mask. He's like 100 yards from the nearest human being. He's got a mask. I've never seen a man that liked a mask. Joe feels very safe in a mask. I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to expose his face. Did you ever see a man that likes a mask as much as him? What the hell did he spend all that money on the plastic surgery if he's going to cover it up with a mask?
Ha, ha, and ha. So here's the thing. Masks protect us from the coronavirus. They protect us from getting it and spreading it. That's a fact. If everyone wore a mask, we might not have any of this anymore. We would definitely have less of this. But this president doesn't think they look good. And so now he has the virus and his wife has it, and every staffer who may have come into contact with the president is at risk. Basically, the White House is now like a summer camp with lice. There are a lot of COVID dots to connect. Here's Trump with his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, very close to his face. Spent a lot of time with his nominee for the Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, who went for a stroll with the vice poodle, Mike Pence. They were both with Mitch McConnell on Tuesday, which was the same day his family, at the debate, they took off their masks, which is against the rules. And when a doctor from the Cleveland Clinic who was overseeing it went over and asked them to put their masks on, they all ignored her. Hope Hicks, who is like patient zero now, was at the debate. She traveled to Minnesota with Trump on Wednesday. There she is with a number of staffers, no masks or distancing, really. Hope was also clapping along at a rally in Pennsylvania Saturday, again with no mask. So after he found out that Hope Hicks had tested positive, the president flew to New Jersey to attend a fundraiser indoors where he came in contact with around 100 donors. He knew someone in his inner circle had COVID. He wasn't feeling well. He still had a round table with support. I don't know about you, but I would ask for my money back at that particular fundraiser. And it wasn't just the executive branch that got hit. There were more positive results at the White House today, and on Capitol Hill, Senator Mike Lee of Utah tested positive. There he is, giving out hugs on the White House lawn Saturday. Mike Lee is what they call a stupor spreader. And Vice President Mike Pence tested negative. This is a weird thing. When the Trumps got home after testing positive, Mike and Karen Pence were in their bed. Pence tweeted, "Karen and I send our love and prayers to our dear friends, President, blah, 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 blah. We wish you sweet, God bless you." And all. Pence is planning to make a longer statement to the press as soon as he can stop whistling zippity-doo-dah. So Mike Pence, of course, is the head of the COVID task force. So he's in trouble. I mean, as soon as Trump's back on his feet, somebody's getting a swirly in the Lincoln commode. And this is interesting. Team Trump reportedly didn't give the Biden campaign a heads up that they may have been exposed. Joe Biden tested negative, but really that doesn't mean anything because the virus has to be in you for a few days before you can even get a positive result. Trump was 12 feet away screaming at him on Tuesday. And so that debate may have been an even bigger disaster than we thought. And we hope the president will be okay. Before he left for the hospital, he made a video to assure us that he will be okay.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support. I'm going to Walter Reed Hospital. I think I'm doing very well, but we're going to make sure that things work out. The First Lady is doing very well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will never forget it. Thank you.
In other words, Pence, you better stay the hell out of my Oval Office. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, click the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, well, you hurt my feelings.